What's up, guys? This is Crazy Awesome, and today we are reacting to an interview that The Warning did. This is going to be kind of a longer video, but I'm really excited. If you guys would indulge me in joining me, I'm super excited to just see this interview, and someone actually recommended this to me because they said the interview with Allison Hagendorf, I know I messed up that pronunciation so bad, but whatever, is fantastic to learn more about the history of the band and the girls' personalities. And then someone second, they were like, this is a great one to watch, so I'll second that recommendation. So thank you so much. So yeah, let's watch this interview. I really want to learn more about the personalities of them from their live performances. I've gotten a lot out of it, but you know, I also want to listen to them. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm really excited for this, guys. You have no idea. Thank you all so much for all the subs and the subscriptions.
Hello, my fellow music lovers. I'm Allison Hagendorf, and welcome to the show.
Okay.
This is where we celebrate the universal love of music and the rock and roll spirit that lives in each of us. My guests today are the three incredibly talented sisters who comprise the band The Warning. This is a band you need to know. They have been playing since they were old enough to even hold instruments and have already played alongside bands like Foo Fighters and Guns N' Roses. Wow. They are currently on their North American tour this month and will be opening for Muse in Europe this summer. We talk all about their relentless drive and work ethic, how they got their first break, what it's like to open for their idols, Muse, and the secret weapon of their sibling magic. And stay tuned after the interview for my sound advice, new music you need to know. It all starts now. Here,
so exciting.
I have been following you for years now, and to have you in LA and to sit down, I'm so pumped. There's just so much I want to congratulate you on.
Thank you.
And also, I was admiring your Misfits tank. This is phenomenal.
I got it from a fan. Shout out to that fan. Thank you for the
Misfits,
fan
awesome.
gift.
Yeah.
I know.
Your greets.
I love that.
And we're honored to be here. Thank you so much for
for
having
having
us.
us.
This is like,
Oh,
So cool.
We're so happy
I am
to
honored to
make
have
it.
you guys here. Now, tell me why you're in LA, what you guys have been working on.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. Oh, are you gonna?
Okay.
So we're here in LA. Basically, we're gonna write a lot. We're experimenting. We're in that like era in our careers where we just want to try everything, new things, and we're so used to writing between each other. That's
Just
it.
us.
That's
So
it.
like it's our first like dip into co-writing, and it's been
Wow.
fun.
Yeah.
LA is the place to do it, and we haven't had the time to write. We've been touring for
Nonstop.
2022
Yes,
was
you are.
nonstop. It was over 100 shows. So now this is like the little window of time we have before touring starts this year. So we're like, okay, let's go to LA and write.
Let's find out what we can do.
Going on.
Let's go.
So wait, I need to hear more about these co-writing sessions. So how has it been going? 'Cause that's a whole new dynamic in chemistry. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, the fact that you guys are sisters writing together, it's like a very intimate, comfortable dynamic. So
Yeah.
now you're in the room with strangers. It's a little bit like a first date, but it's the three of you together.
We talked about it. This is like speed dating.
Speed dating.
We've been here for has it been 9 days?
I think so. I don't even know.
It's been like one team per day. Like we meet new people every day.
Yeah.
So it's like going into the room and saying like, "Hi, I'm Paulina, and these are my darkest fears. Let's write about them." It's just really weird. Doing that every day with new people.
Oh yeah, that must be so awkward. It's like, hey, hello. Yeah, this is my name. So now we're gonna write about these deepest, darkest. Now we're gonna write about murder, and now we're gonna write about this. Oh man, that cracked me up. But also, I want to mention it must be like really like imagine loving Black Sabbath like your whole life. Imagine loving Black Sabbath your whole life, and then getting to play with Black Sabbath on stage. Could you even describe how amazing that would feel? I mentioned this because they've played with Foo Fighters and Guns N' Roses. So that would be absolutely insane. I'm liking this so far though. I'm excited to see more of it.
Sometimes you vibe, sometimes you don't, but all the sessions have been great.
Yeah, they have been
It's
great.
met some great people, and it's just been really fun, very new.
And we've got to learn a lot from them, which is, I think, the most important thing. What you can like grasp and then get to do your own thing with it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely been an experience.
An adventure.
Yes, an adventure.
It's definitely a character building exercise. Like you said, like going and meeting someone and then becoming as vulnerable as possible so you actually get great art to create.
And and it's weird because it's like a back and forth because you're explaining your situation. They're like, oh, I've been through, and then they just like, it's like a trauma dumping session.
Yeah,
but
it's
in
therapy.
the healthiest way.
Oh yeah,
It's just
love that.
really nice.
It's a healthy therapy session.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's honestly just like music can be such like you have no idea like how well. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of you that know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it really can be a therapy session. Just music in general, just lyric writing, music writing, talking to people, collaborating. Just kind of getting all your thoughts and ideas out. It's very like relaxing and very freeing.
Now, I love that it's the three sisters. I am one of three sisters. So I as soon as I heard about you guys, I felt very connected. And I'm very close with my sisters. I think it's beautiful that you guys have been making
I
music
think it's cool they kind of share that common ground. That's honestly really cool. I love how they're excited about it too.
together. And I want to learn a little bit about like the earliest days with you guys, because obviously your parents played a huge role introducing music to you in general and then supporting you in your dreams.
Yeah, so we grew up in a very musical household. Our parents are not musicians. They're just music lovers. So how do you say, inculcaron? They like shared
They
that
brought us up like
with a love of music.
Yes.
Yeah. Brought us up. That's
There we
the word,
go.
I think. And music was always just playing around the house, and we really loved it. And just like parents like put their kids in like soccer classes or swimming lessons. Our parents were like piano lessons. Just go, have fun. And we started out like that. We like classically trained classical music, piano.
That's amazing.
And then our parents bought the video game, the Rock Band.
Yeah.
A Rock Band.
That was it.
That's where we found our thing. We were really like, I forget how young we were. I felt really grown up at the time.
Yeah.
I was 6. I mean, I was 3.
You couldn't even hold up a freaking.
Do you remember this?
I remember watching them play because I was so young. I couldn't even carry like the plastic guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just watched them play all the time. That's
Wow,
what I
dude,
did when I
wow.
was 3. I watched them play Rock Band. Yeah, I did.
I
did.
love that.
Yeah.
So Rock Band, you guys were great at it. But you can still be
Yes.
great at Rock Band and not decide that you're going to make this your life, So what was
Yeah.
it that was
Oh,
that
yeah.
point where we're like, okay, this is what we're doing?
I think it's what we saw in the Rock Band more than like actually like playing it. Like it looked so fun to be on the stage. Everyone was just like cheering. It was like I want to be part of that. So even though we had never done it before, I was like, Dad, I want to play the guitar. And he's like, are you sure? Your fingers are gonna hurt. I was like, yeah.
Aww.
But one week I was just like, please no, it hurts so much.
Right.
But no, then it was just because I started classic guitar. Like I started like an acoustic guitar with not nylon strings.
Dude, that is rough. Like, okay, I'm sorry, but just shout out to acoustic guitar players because you all are like absolute beasts. I can play acoustic guitar, but there are a lot of solos and a lot of just like things in general that are very, very like everyone talks about. I feel like everyone talks about like, the electric guitar solos, how crazy the electric guitar tapping is. I want to see more respect for acoustic playing. There's that one Extreme song that I think is kind of recent-ish that has an insane like acoustic harmonic solo. I can't remember the name of the song, but yeah, just shout out to acoustic guitar players because you guys are beasts. Like you're absolute beasts. Like it is so difficult to play acoustic guitar a lot of the time. I just want to just shout out to you
The other
guys.
ones, I forgot how they're called.
Steel strings?
I guess.
I'm trying to help you out. I don't know
it hurt
anything
so
about
much.
guitar.
I was
You get
just
like the calluses.
Yes, I had like my
Yeah,
fingers
the calluses. Yep.
were horribly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then there was no going back. Literally, we loved what we did, but we didn't play
wonderful.
together.
No, at
No,
all.
we did.
I
At
play the
all.
drums separately. Danny
Oh, wow.
played her guitar.
Really?
Ale was still not playing anything. She was playing
I
piano.
play the piano.
But like years later, Ale like had an interest in the bass, so she started playing the bass by herself. Like we didn't play together. That wasn't
No.
a thing ever,
Wow.
ever. Sometimes we played like the piano together,
Yeah.
but like guitar and drums, that wasn't a thing. But then Ale started playing the bass, and we're like,
Wait a
like,
second.
we can play together.
Oh.
And
Wow.
we started learning cover songs, just playing songs that we liked.
Oh yeah, that's
and
how you
playing
start
like
out.
at her school and stuff like that. And then we started recording these covers and uploading them to YouTube. We recorded Enter Sandman,
Right.
which
Ah, man.
went viral.
That's the
Great
one.
cover.
And it was like when we started getting these very big opportunities that you wouldn't expect to get at that age, just starting out. It was like, oh my God, like their dreams are coming true. Let's do this for real. And I think that was the turning point.
And when we eventually started making our own music, that even became more
That was
legit.
it.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, let's go.
So when the Enter Sandman cover came about, how old were you guys then? Was it like 9 to like 14?
Yeah, I was 14.
I was 12.
And I was 9.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you guys really created your own luck, right? Because it was a preparation and opportunity meet. You had been practicing. You had been honing your crafts. I mean, how intense was your practicing at this point? Like, you guys were pretty dedicated musicians.
Very, very much so.
I don't remember how many hours.
Yeah,
but
me
it was
neither.
all the time.
We
more than a
practiced
couple hours
all the
every
time.
day. And it was like you come back from school, you would practice, then you would do your homework, and then you would practice the other instrument. Like it was a thing.
Yeah.
It was
and we had our
a whole
lessons.
schedule thing.
And our parents like really pushed us to it because you're a kid. At
Yeah.
one point, you're gonna be like, "No, I want to play with my toys." It was like practice, and that like we learned how to be disciplined like, in our craft since we were really young. So I feel like we've just been really lucky throughout our whole careers, and we've gotten these amazing opportunities. But it's that discipline that we've had throughout our whole lives that like makes us take advantage of these opportunities to the fullest.
Yeah, and I can tell you, listen, having discipline and having consistency with everything is probably like one of the most difficult parts of instrument. Just playing an instrument, at least to me, having that dedication, trying to keep up that passion, every day, or just not even every day, but just trying to keep it up, just trying to stay in that mental space is so difficult to do. Because you have to fight yourself. Like playing an instrument, being a musician, sometimes being an artist is sadly about fighting yourself, trying to fight your own personal demons, trying to fight the things that tell you to do other things, or the things that tell you to just stop because you're not good enough, or just so many different distractions, so many different thoughts that just can run through your brain that can just kind of kill everything. And it's so hard to stay disciplined. It's so hard to stay focused on what you're doing. And I feel like that the reason, like the warning that they're also dedicated is because they started from a young age, and it's not because, I'm not going to say any of that naturally gifted, naturally talented crap, because I don't really believe in that too much. I really just believe that if you can get a good system going, if you just take something and you stick with it, then you can go really far with it. And I think that's what they did. Like, they worked for everything. I don't think that they were just always these, like geniuses and they always knew what to do. No, like they had to learn. As Danny was saying, like her fingers hurt and she was like, oh man, like this was like, she really didn't like it. But they put a lot of time and practice into this. And a lot of people sometimes just say, oh, they were just so naturally gifted and naturally talented. I don't think that at all. I think that they, from a very young age, they were able to figure out, and with, people to help guide them in the right direction, like with their parents, telling them to, be like, hey, practice this. I think that they just took it from a very young age and they went all the way up with it. And they were just like, hey, this is kind of difficult, but we're just going to keep doing this. Maybe this is going to take us somewhere someday. And, eventually, like, look at them now. Like, look at them now. But it's nothing it's not like they're naturally gifted or that they could always do this. But it's the thing. My main point is that they had to work for it. It takes skill. It takes practice. It takes time. And that's what they did. They put in so much time, so much effort to get this good. It's not like they always had it in them or it was easy. But, when you're just practicing an instrument in general, when any musician, any artist out there, is very proficient in their craft, it's not because it was just in their blood or they were naturally talented. It's because that they had to work for it. They had to put in the skill, they had to put in the time, they had to put in the effort. They had to sacrifice a lot of themselves to get to where they are today, which not in like any bad means, but when I say sacrificing yourself, you have to kind of fight. It's like as I said, it's like a battle with yourself. Like, think about how many times you just don't want to do something, but you should. Like, that's what I'm just saying. But anyways, they're just very talented. They had to, and when I say talented, I mean skilled, like very skilled. They worked for everything that they do, and I just love that. I love that.
And we're really grateful for that.
And
honestly.
also from discipline, we are very stubborn. When we didn't get a part, it was just like, I'm staying here until I play it right.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's great too. Like, that's great to, and the best thing is that once you start kind of building that, you kind of start building the ability to get kicked down and then get back up and then kicked again and then get back up. That's what being a musician feels like sometimes, and I love that. I also love how they were giving a lot of credit to their parents as well. Like that's honestly really sweet of them. So sweet of them.
I was like, I want to be able to play this.
So when did you actually become The Warning? Like
Oh.
the
Ooh.
official band?
Official band. Okay, so we recently just turned 10 years as a band.
That is
Yes.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Half of
10
my
years.
life.
Yeah, more than half of my life. Yeah.
It's just like, what? But
That is
Like our
unreal.
first-
Unbelievable.
Unreal.
It's wonderful, guys. It's wonderful.
and our first gig was at a Christmas party at our school.
Yes.
But like the first time we used the name, The Warning, it was like a battle of the bands.
type of event.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember when
But
it was.
every single band had a name but us, so we're just like, well,
Oh,
we have to name
that's
our
gonna be
How
the
did
band.
you come up with that?
And we gotta name it.
we would daydream about having an album
Yes.
and it was called The Warning. And it was like the just for now name.
Yes.
We're like we're gonna change it later.
the placeholder.
Like we didn't love it. It was not like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we're called
The
The Warning.
Warning.
It was like we don't have another option right now.
Right.
So,
That's gonna be it. But then we went viral and everyone was like, oh, The Warning. So it was like,
well,
we'll
we're
stick
keeping
with The Warning. Okay.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah, I get that. It's like, I guess we're The Warning now. Like, it's kind of funny. I totally get that. And yeah, the same thing kind of happened with my band. We had a placeholder name. We kind of had just like this placeholder name, and we just had a bunch of names kind of in a bucket. And then we were like, I don't know. How about Five on Fire for now? And then we were like, oh, okay, cool. And then that's the name we kind of selected then, but then it just kind of stayed like that, which was pretty funny. Yeah, and it was pretty cool. Like but it kind of rolled off the tongue. We were just like, oh, and then people were just like, yeah, Five on Fire, and then we were like, oh, I guess that's our name now. So that's kind of what happened with my personal experience with our band, but
We learned to
I
love
love
it.
that.
It's awesome.
It's a good
Yeah.
name. We've grown with
It's
it.
a great name.
Yeah.
When you did go viral, did you feel the pressure to really like quadruple down and like now just take advantage of this momentum? Like, was there a pressure?
I feel like
know
I
what?
don't, remember like that.
No,
I feel like as
'cause
a kid, I was just like, well, this is my life now.
yeah,
but like,
we were so young that we really didn't understand the concept of like
yeah.
what happened and like
viral.
going
Oh, yeah.
viral. We
Right.
didn't really understand it. We were just like suddenly we had more interviews and stuff like that. But apart from that, we really didn't understand completely like what was
I
going
I feel like
on.
if that would happen right now, I would feel pressure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was
But
12.
back then,
I was in my own little world.
Yeah.
Just, I was like, oh, I get to play the drums now. Awesome.
Yeah, it's just an opportunity to keep doing what you were
Exactly.
already
Yeah.
doing.
Right.
In hindsight, it's like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
that was big. But
I love that you said the pivotal point was when you started doing your own music.
Yes.
You realized you didn't want to be known as just a cover band, and creating your own music was really the key. So talk to me about early days of creating music. Where did you even begin? And was there sort of like artists you looked to sort of be inspired by or to emulate?
Okay, so first of all, the weird thing about this is that, well, we're Mexican. We grew up speaking Spanish. That's our main language.
we live in Mexico.
But the first ever creations that we did was English songs. That's it.
Yep.
And I feel like that was a big thing in our starting releasing our own original music, because we had the attention of the Enter Sandman one. Now, like, since we were singing in English, people are like, oh, well, I can actually listen to this. But our first ever creations were very all over the place.
Like, we didn't have specific like influences that we were like, I want to sound like that. It was just like, let's write a song and let's see what comes out. And it was just, but it was like an exercise. We had a
Yeah.
teacher. His name is Pablo Gonzalez, and he was Alice's bass teacher. But then he started teaching us like musicianship, and he was like, "You should start writing." And we're like, "Sure."
And what does that mean exactly? Yeah.
So he really pushed us into start like exploring what we wanted to say or how we wanted to sound, and it was really fun because like I play the drums, right, but I also play the piano. But I write on the piano. But I remember like the first time just figuring out, like, oh my god, I can use these chords and they're gonna sound like this, and it was just like a
Yep.
whole new world was
Yeah.
opened of possibilities that I had never thought that we could do before.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun. But we were still finding our footing like for the
Yeah.
first years.
Which
in
is so
writing.
funny to me now, because our first ever songs are actually out that our first
Like, it's
EP
there. It's on
is there.
Spotify.
It's out.
It's out.
Wow.
You can hear our like tiny baby voices being like, "Hi." No.
Yeah.
I try to ignore it. It's like it's there.
It's there.
And it's cute.
Yeah, imagine like, oh my gosh, like imagine being that young and then like just kind of blowing up like that. I also love how they made the point of like they didn't really know what to make of like becoming so popular and at such a young age, because I feel like at that point, like when that just kind of happens, you're just in your own world. And I love how they were just like, yeah, we didn't know what was happening. We didn't even understand what was happening. But looking back at it, just looking back on everything, it's just like, in hindsight, it would have been, it's like, wow, this was like of course, like this should have been like absolutely insane. But in the moments, like when you're that young, you don't really understand what's going on. It's like, what's happening? And I kind of love that they talk about it just like, oh, well, it's just like I was just in my own world. It's just like, ooh, this is cool. I get to play drums now. And this is really amazing. Like, I'm loving this. Like, the Enter Sandman, like the whole Enter Sandman bit was amazing. Imagine if you don't like your voice now and then like hearing that you got, super popular when you were like a kid and you have to hear like your annoying high-pitched voice just be like, hi, I wrote a song. Yeah, listen to my song. You have to hear your... Okay, I mean, since I'm a YouTuber, I hear myself talk all the time, and it used to really bother me. I used to hate my voice, actually. But I guess the more and more I do it, it's like I don't love it, but, you kind of accept it. It's just like you kind of accept it. You kind of go numb to it. And imagine having to hear, like, your kid super high-pitched voice. Just imagine that. Like, that is, like, crazy. I love this interview, though. I'm excited. I'm just so excited to see all of it.
We started out with that. I'm not ashamed of it, but it's people can stream it. Like they can sit down and say, I'm going to listen to that song. And it's just like,
yeah, but it's impressive. You guys were children. You were actual children creating your own music, writing your music, and playing your own music. Yeah. I mean, I think that is so impressive. I hope you guys feel
like that. It does feel like, oh, okay. But at the time, it was just like, it's what we knew what to do. And we just really liked it. Okay,
now, tell me about, like, you said before you call it the sibling magic, which I love. Mm-hmm. I mean, creatively, how do you guys work together? Does someone come in with an idea? Or do you just jam together?
No, it's weird. We do have this weird telepathy.
That's hilarious. Oh, I love that.
Kind of thing that works a lot, especially in live shows. We would just be like, and we're like, okay,
that's incredible.
We know what needs to happen. But usually, up until right now, Pao is the one who on the piano, she just goes crazy and gets a lot of different chords, concepts, lyrics, and that's where we that's where we
Yeah, people told me that Pal was the main songwriter, the main person that would kind of come up with a lot of melodies and chords and lyrics and stuff. So yeah, this is actually interesting to hear that. Well, that was true.
Go from, which is. It's so funny if you think about it. Most of our songs start as a rock ballad on the piano, and then we just kind of the warnify it in the actual instruments.
It's pretty cool.
It's weird. It's a good process that we have.
Yeah.
And now that we're writing with other people, we realize how special it is because writing songs, it's like, I was gonna say having babies, but that sounds weird. But it's like it's
Well, that's. I'm sorry. I'm so immature. That's a quite funny way. Imagine you just tell someone that you're like, yeah. Writing. At least she didn't say. She could have said something much worse. At least she didn't say that. Yeah, writing songs is like the baby making process. Yeah, she could have said something much worse in relation to making children. But anyways.
It's your child.
It's your musical children.
It's right there, and then you just
just say it like that. Yeah, that's good.
Torn apart and then put back together, and it's.
I'm sorry, I'm 12 years old.
It goes back to the vulnerability.
It's a heavy process, and with my sisters, there's no sugarcoating it. We're working with other people. It's maybe we can go around and do this. And they're like, I hate it. I'm not gonna do that. And it's just okay.
That sucks.
But we know that it's nothing personal. like we can work with no strings attached and just like really get things done. And we do understand each other in a really special way. Like Danny, it doesn't matter if it's in English or in Spanish, but when we're working creatively, she says things.
That don't make sense.
She says words, and it's a sentence, but
It doesn't make sense.
it's not a
I
thing.
can be very incoherent.
Yeah. And we're
And
like,
she's just like, it just needs to sound like "guh," and we're like,
what does
what are
good
you
mean?
talking about? But after all these
Leave it
years,
to my sisters to understand.
we know
Right.
what "guh" means
Yeah.
now. Like we understand
We're
each
getting the hang
other.
of it, yeah.
So now that we're working with other people, we just take a second to like huddle up in Spanish and be like,
Yeah.
All right.
what are we doing? And then Danny says her like incoherent things and we make sense of it and then we communicate it to the other
process.
writers and then but it's a cool process because we ground each other. Like we
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
each other humble. It's like, no, you're not gonna do that.
Of
That's
course. Yeah.
not cool. It's like a process.
I love that.
If you've been getting scam texts like these, it was me. I said that probably means your
Amazing so
data's
far.
been
I'm
leaked, and I
loving
have all of
this.
it. Who leaked it?
They're having such a good time. This is a man.
We are all extremely busy and feel rushed pretty much 24/7. And the one time you shouldn't feel rushed is at a doctor's appointment. There is nothing worse than going to a doctor's appointment, waiting for on ZocDoc.
All right,
ZocDoc
we're gonna go through
the
this.
energy then needs and fits ZocDoc free. That
You know, last year, Error, of course, was a massive moment for you guys.
Yeah.
On so many levels, you know, as artists, as musicians, as songwriters, as women. It's a phenomenal album. So I just want to say congratulations. It's really a culmination of all of the hard work. I mean, you guys are veteran musicians. I mean, to think of that, I mean, it's pretty.
old.
No, but it's incredible that you are so.
I love that. You're so old. Yeah, but they are veterans, technically, when you think about it. They've been active for like, what? They said 10 years? 10 years. Like when a band is, I mean, yeah. I mean, they have years of experience. They're so young. It's incredible.
So young. Like when you finished that album, how old were all of you? I
When
mean,
we finished
Oh.
Error,
I was 20.
I was
Well, I turned 21
Yeah.
when we
in the mixing.
in the mixing.
So I was 18. And during
So-
the mixing, I was 19.
Yes.
I was 15.
Shut up.
oh my
No,
God.
you're
I mean,
kidding.
literally, I'm calling you veterans, and you were literally 15 to 20.
Yeah. I was 15.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
It's because, man, pandemic years are so weird.
That's true. That's true. The
Yeah.
pandemic years, it was like dog years.
I
It's
don't
like
remember being
yeah.
that young.
That is the most accurate description I've seen of the pandemic. Pandemic years is like dog years.
I don't either. I don't either.
But I get it. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
But that album, I feel like to this date has made the biggest splash for you guys. That's when you started really getting on festivals and incredible tours and amazing opportunities to open for bands like Foo Fighters and
Wow.
Muse, which I want to talk more about, and Sammy Hagar and all these things. Like,
That's
tell me
incredible.
what was going on for you, because you guys had been playing and honing your craft for so many years at this point. But this album was a turning point individually and also in your career. So tell me about this whole like point in your life and how it felt.
Well,
Okay.
I think first of all, it was a big shift in our band as a career because we had been an independent band for
Right.
the rest. I mean, all of it
The whole
up
time.
until right
The whole
now.
time.
Yeah.
So we signed with Lava Records and Republic Records in 2020. It was mid-pandemic.
Mid-pandemic. It was like
Mid-pandemic.
July, mid-pandemic.
It was a weird
July,
timing,
July.
but like it was great for us, and we already had this album planned, and we were like, okay, we're now recording it with someone we had never worked with in an environment that we had never been in, because we are now like, okay, we're gonna have a producer who has a lot of experience.
David Benda.
David
Yeah.
Benda.
Shout out David. Shout out
Yes.
Jason
Go.
Flom. I remember when he told me
Yes.
about you guys, and I was like, oh hell yes.
Yes.
Very excited. Yeah.
So like we were going into stuff that we've been doing for our whole lives, but in a very different
Capacity.
context
Yeah.
and way. So we're just like, all right, let's
but it was like
learn
the
from
step
it.
to take. Like we were
Yeah.
really excited about like, oh, it's the next level. That's what you would say. Like, okay, let's go. And it was mid-pandemic. It was weird. Like, the whole recording.
Oh,
of it,
yeah,
but
that
it
must
was
have been
great.
weird.
And we learned how to be musicians again. I don't know how to explain it.
Yes.
But we went to the David Benda boot camp, which we've talked with other bands about it, and they're like,
It's a thing.
it's a
Wait, tell me
thing.
more about this boot camp. I love this.
It was just like during pre-pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we thought we were really tight with our demos, and we were playing it for David, and David was like, "You're so out of time." And we're like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" He's like,
That's
"No, you're gonna
hilarious.
use my click, and you're gonna learn how to play with each other because you're playing individually. You're not playing as a band." And we're like,
Ooh.
"What are you talking about, David?"
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But after like the whole process, we went back to Monterrey, and we were starting to rehearse the songs. And we were like,
That process
we
was
played
so stressful.
horribly.
We played
I was like,
horribly.
I felt like a bad musician.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to drum. And then Ale and I would play together. Like we would just play together, her and I.
Yeah, we just
And
looked
I
at each
would
other.
stare at Ale's fingers, and I would have to hit it at the same time as Ale was doing like the.
Yeah, like I
playing.
remember we were so out of
It was-
time, and
was
we
grueling.
learned how to play again together.
Yeah,
Literally.
literally.
It was.
Wow.
It
But
was
you
a
know what?
process.
Wow.
Yeah.
More than anything about timing or whatever, like the parts, we felt like we were playing like humans. Does that make
For the
sense?
first time.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know
like
how to explain
you
it.
got so into what you were doing. It's like I have to get it right or whatever that you forgot to like groove, to be part of it, to be in the music.
Right.
And that is something that not a lot of people think about that can be listened to. You know,
Yes.
like you
does
can
make
feel it,
you
yeah.
can feel
Huge
that in
difference.
an album when it's recorded with like feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the
true.
instrumentation is one part of it, but the heart and soul is the,
the
other.
other. It's the
other
Yeah.
part,
And
yes.
you have to have both.
Because it's very easy to lose yourself and want it to be perfect.
Yes.
Playing everything perfectly by yourself.
Yeah.
It was just an insane process.
It was.
But we didn't tour. It was the pandemic. So then
Right.
the album comes out. It came out 2 years after we recorded it.
Right.
It was just
right.
there. And it
Yeah.
was really weird because we couldn't do anything with it because we had to tour with it. We had to promote it, but we couldn't. Everything was closed down. We canceled
Oh yeah,
like,
that's tough.
2 tours.
Like the pandemic was tough for so many bands because they just had to, cancel everything and just shove everything to the side. It was a depressing and really tough time for a lot of people. It must have been tough on them.
2
It's
tours.
Three
brutal.
tours?
Yeah.
I don't-
Brutal.
And it was our
were so
first
bummed.
time. Like it was gonna be our first time headlining
The US.
like our tours in the
Yeah.
US, and then everything was canceled.
Dang,
But then
man.
2022 came around,
Must have
and
been
we started
heartbreaking.
touring. It was our first time headlining in the US. It
Like
was brutal.
Our first show ever coming back from the pandemic was in Daytona.
Oh my god, it was Welcome to
the
Rockville.
Welcome to
Welcome to
Rockville.
Rockville.
Yeah.
That was like
Okay, it was
we're
a great-
coming back.
It was a great
It
experience.
was a great experience.
But
Yes.
it was such a wonky show. Like it was for like
Or
it was
for
our
us.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we were just like, what is going on? And we hadn't played
in
festivals
years. Yeah.
in the US.
Ever.
It was like one of
Ever.
our first festivals here. And we were all just like,
We had so much fun
what is
though.
going It was fun, but we were wonky. So then we
Like you
we're,
felt rusty, like you
Yeah.
felt not
It's
Like,
conditioned.
do I even
Yeah.
remember how to do
we're
this
about to play
in front of an
Rockville again
audience?
this
Yeah.
year, and we're like, thank God, because we can show the people they're like, we're cool. We swear, we
Yeah.
swear that we're better now. But we started our headlining tour in the US in 2022,
Yes.
and it was like how many dates and how many days? Do you
It
know?
was like
We were there-
27 dates
And we
and
were
like
there for like 42 days or something.
yeah. It was
was-
like
A
very
really, it was just at one after the other, one after the other, and
now
we
that
had
is boot camp.
No, we
that's
had
real
never
boot
toured like
camp.
that
Yeah.
before, and never also like in the US. It was like, oh, clavado, un clavado.
no.
How do you
I
say
have
that? It
no
was like a
idea. Like
deep
a dive,
dive.
deep dive
Yeah, and
into
like
Yeah.
into cold water, like just, and it was like so many firsts for everyone, like not only us, but like in our team as well. But I'm really grateful that we had that because it was
Yes.
grueling and it was brutal.
Yes.
And every sense of the word, like
Now
em-
we can take on
emotionally,
anything.
physically,
Yeah.
and we're like we survived that.
We did.
And then we started touring with Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless.
yeah.
Talk to me about that
It was
because
awesome.
I love
It was
both bands.
It was
Awesome.
awesome. So we felt really like nervous about it. We were like, we just toured by ourselves. Like maybe this tour is a bit easier because like
do
it's
it.
their tour and we're just here to support. But it's a really different switch opening for bands than like your headlining ones.
Right.
Because you have to prove not only like to the bands that are inviting you to play
That you
like,
were worth it.
Yeah, like
Right,
thank you for
right.
taking a chance on us, and also you have to convince everyone in the crowd like, look at me, listen to me, right
Yes.
here, hello.
Yeah, it's a tough area because especially because the nerves are going crazy during that because not only as they said you have to prove to the band to make you feel like that make yourself feel like that you're worth it, and then you have to make them feel like be like, hey, I'm worth this. I'm worth the trouble. I'm worth you asking me to come out here and play for me. But then it's also trying to get that connection with the audience. So that's something that not everyone can do. There are only some people that can actually do this where they have such a genuine and real connection with their fans. And honestly, that's what matters when you're at a live show. It doesn't matter how many times it doesn't matter. I would even argue, me personally, when it comes to live shows, I would even argue that songwriting itself isn't the most important thing when it comes to playing live shows. I would say that the connection, because you can write the best song of all time, but it doesn't matter if you can't connect with your audience. If you can't emotionally connect with them, if you can't make that, if you, and I feel like the Warning, they just understand with just facial expressions, with their mannerisms, with the way that they play their instruments, with the way that they engage with their audience, but at the same time keeping in character with the story of the song. Like I feel like just all of those things, like you can make the best car that you want to, but you have to know how to sell it. You have to be a good salesperson. You have to really have that connection. You have to really understand how to make that connection with your audience, and which they do. They understand both, but they are very important, like in both aspects of, they understand how to craft a beautiful song that can get people invested, but they also know how to make that connection that will make the people invested in them. They know how to do both, and I just think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And also, we're a Mexican band touring the US for the first time. We're trying to make a name for ourselves. So it was also we also have to prove that we can be a part of this country's industry as well. And just hey, listen to us. We have something to say.
Yes.
And most of it, we were just really trying to get people to have a good time for the rest of the evening.
And prepare the crowd for the bands that we're about to come up, to hype them up. So the Pretty Reckless and Hailstorm could have the best crowd ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yeah. It was
Also,
great.
touring with those two bands, of course, they both have very strong, incredible, talented women. Talk to me about doing some festivals where you're one of the only female bands.
Oh, that's usually.
And sometimes you have to prove yourself more, right? Because they're like, oh, it's The Warning, it's an all-female band, that's cute, right? Yeah. And then I'm sure once they see you, they're like, oh wow.
That's usually
You're
how,
like, oh crap.
That's usually how it goes. I mean, we put in a lot of work to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we do have to go above and beyond to be considered, at least. So, but it's always very, it's motivating in some sort of way, to prove yourself every single time. Because there's a certain fire to it. We have to demonstrate that we've been working for a long time.
That's our motivation. When we go on stage, is first of all, let's have fun, because that's what we're here for, and show them that that's what a rock show is all about, So it's not what gender you see on stage. It's just the music and how good it can make you feel.
I just wanted to mention, I'm just going to mention the band Kitty. And in case you're not familiar with Kitty, you can look them up. But basically, they are a metal band who do a lot of great songs. And I feel like they should have got more recognition. But my main point was, I was going to bring up they're an all-female metal band, and one of the biggest all-female metal bands, arguably maybe the biggest. But the reason I'm mentioning Kitty is because sadly, and I feel like, and I'm glad this doesn't happen too much, with the Warning. I know Danny was mentioning, people be like, oh, that's the all-female band. But, sometimes this happens where Kitty had to face a lot of, sexism, just people, or even people saying dumb things like, you guys don't even play your own instruments, or, you're fake because there's no way you could actually play that fast, or just stuff like that. And it's really stupid. And I just wanted to mention that because, Kitty is fantastic. The Warning, they're fantastic. And there's a lot you have to deal with, like being an all-female band. I mean, I can't really relate, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of like, I know that there's a lot of sexism involved in that, which really sucks. And people refer to Kitty as just like the all-female band or just the all-female metal band, and they were like, I don't want to be referred to as that because, you wouldn't refer to Slipknot as an all-boy band or something, all-boy metal band, or just any band in general, And I can see both sides of the coin because there aren't a whole lot of like all female metal bands that kind of rise to prominence, so I kind of understand why some people be like, oh my gosh, it's an all female band that's like that they're doing metal stuff or doing rock stuff and it's super cool. So I see both sides of the coin. It's kind of a tough toss up, but because as I said, like a lot of people just refer to Kitty as like the all female metal band and a few other things. And it's tough, and Kitty hated that. They said that they hated it, and they just preferred, they just wanted to be referred to as a metal band, not just the all-female band that's here. And I kind of see both sides of the coin because it's very unusual. It kind of sticks out, like, because they're sadly, and this is just sad because I wish there aren't a whole lot of all women bands that are very popular. Like that's just kind of the sad thing. So when someone emerges like from that, kind of like, The Warning or Kitty, as I mentioned, it's like people are like, oh my gosh, like this is, and not all people are like negative about this. Some people are like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. But sadly, on the other side of the coin, there are these people that would just judge them because they're an all female band, which I feel really sad about that. But yeah, but it must be difficult for The Warning to kind of have to face that, where it's like you have all these other bands and then you feel kind of awkward because it's like, you're like the only one in your group that's kind of like this. I've kind of had this happen before. Not in the same particular way, but just in life, different things where it's like everyone else is in the group and then it's like you're the only one that's different in the group and you're like, oh, it's kind of awkward, but this is cool. But, I've had that happen a lot before, so I can kind of see where they're coming from and just in a different light. But I just want to make light to that.
Yes. So we definitely go with that in our minds. And yes, it is a very satisfying feeling to just like people see what we can do and they take us into account for next stuff because like,
it's been awesome to see like how our first festivals, like how we were treated at them. And it's not only like crowds, but it's also like staff and people around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like sound checks and stuff like that. You get treated pretty differently sometimes, and it's just jarring to see.
But they just don't think of
they don't think highly of you, so they don't put time or effort into it. But like
they don't understand who they're dealing with here.
but it's just very fun to see and very gratifying to see that like you step off of the stage and like the stage hands are like, that was an awesome show.
Yeah,
and you're like,
that's great.
Oh yeah, man.
It was an awesome show.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good. It's very satisfying.
I mean, it's
Love
important
that
for people
passion.
to realize that as soon as they see you, they understand this. But you're not female musicians or a female band.
Right.
Like, yes, you are.
Exactly.
But you are just great rock stars. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter. Gender has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people would just be like, oh, they're a great female band, or they're a great, these are great female singers, and they'll put female on top of it, and you're like, but why can't you think about it? Like, imagine if you listened to Korn and you were like, wow, that's such a good boy metal band. Like, he is such a good male singer. He's such a good like, if you put this is why I'm kind of talking about, like, sometimes it's fine to mention gender because of course they're obviously, I mean, they are a female metal band, but some people will slather that on top of it and it'll kind of take away from like what they're actually doing. It'll take away from the songwriting, because they kind of trample that on top of everything else that they're doing, and instead of just being a fantastic metal band like all the other metal bands, they just become a great female metal band, which some people use that in a kind of derogatory sense, which I hate. And in case I ever just refer to them as, just like an all-female band, it's just because it's unique. It's unique because there aren't a whole lot of all-female bands that are kind of close to their that are even like as half as popular as them, which I hate to say, because there are some great women out there that have fantastic bands, but a lot of them just aren't that popular, especially if you just compare it to the male side of things. So I just want to mention that and I love that they mentioned that. That was great. That was actually, they're kind of expanding on my point, but anyways, that's great.
I think just because it's an anomaly, there's not so many female artists, all female bands, you know. And I think when you come out with this ferocity that you do.
Ferocity.
Oh my God, you guys. Ferocity is the word I use to describe you guys.
Oh, thank you.
You know what it was when I saw the Choke video? I was literally like talking out loud. Like I was going like, yes. I mean, it's just so, you guys are an amazing musicians, yes, but performers, and you really do embody that heart and soul, that fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that video in particular, I love that video.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're fierce. You're
Thank
fierce.
you so much.
Ferocious.
Yes.
And I've actually talked about this before a lot, like in my previous, about how they have that connection. Even today, I haven't had that connection. They can sell the song. They're fierce. They're passionate. They have the energy. I just want to mention that.
And you know what? I actually get to work on that a lot, because sometimes when we write the songs, they're like Pau's feelings and everything that I have to like interpret.
Yeah.
Interpretar. Interpret? I don't
Just is that the word? Interpret?
Yeah, interpret or have them relate
Interpret,
to you.
yep.
Or
Right.
Interpret,
have it
yep.
apply to you for
I
sure.
really try to make it justice, because I know that it means a lot to whoever like wrote the initial feeling of it. So I try to like really go all out on that sense.
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, they might be your feelings or story to begin with, but everyone can relate to them.
Right,
you
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
universal
exactly.
themes,
Yeah. Once we
Like, songs are all about just like, even if you can't relate to it personally, or even if you haven't gone through it, songs are all about making that connection, making you feel like you're going through it, you know, making you feel like you understand exactly what they're talking about. It's about having a clear narrative to follow along with. And yeah, songs are just storytelling. You know, like there are movies and shows out there where it's like, this wouldn't happen to you in a million years. But, you know, it's like they are so good at narrating and talking about it that you can just follow along with the story, and you can put yourselves in their shoes, which I love that.
do it as a band as well. It kind of just like sinks in, and we're like, we're expressing this. Let's go.
I love it.
Let's go.
I love that you guys are all connecting because, you know, rock music is not necessarily so popular and mainstream amongst young people, you know? So, of course, I get so excited when young people are like, you know, waving the flag. You know, what is it about rock music that you're just like, what? This has nothing to do with age or gender. Just this speaks to me. Like, what is it that just ignites you?
Well, rock has always been a genre for like breaking down barriers and being like contracorriente.
Oh my God. You're all with the Spanish words.
Against the current. Like it's always something that was different and
bring
used
it
to
out the
express
Spanish.
so many things about rebellion and about feelings. So I feel like that really resonates with the youth all the time. It's a message that transcends time and gender and age.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to be a part of it because it resonated with us since we were really young. So to like be able to do it now, it's
And I feel like a big part of it is the energy.
The energy.
It's so much
Just,
energy.
like,
It's the energy.
It's so fun.
so
It's that
fun.
spirit.
It's such
the
a big
community,
release.
right?
Yes.
It's the community.
The
We're
community's
just like
awesome.
one big family. It's so crazy how you can see complete strangers enjoying a show, like
Arm in arm.
in the middle of a mosh pit, taking care of each other. Like even like just to like stay hydrated, my friend, we have to like enjoy the rest of the
Yes.
festival. You know, like
It's awesome to see.
Oh yeah, it is great. Like music brings so many people together, and I just think it's a genuinely like beautiful thing. Like, you know, even if you find like, even if, you know, there's a stranger and they're in their car and they're playing something, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I know that song. You know, it's so cool. It's like togetherness, and I just love that about music. It's so inviting.
What other sort of younger or newer artists are you guys liking?
Ooh, all right. So
Interesting.
we have a very like mixed music taste,
I'm
which
excited
I
to
think
hear.
is cool because we get to experiment with a lot and bring it back to rock.
Yeah.
But right now I'm listening to a lot of Maneskin. I haven't listened to the
Yes.
whole album yet.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I haven't
They're
listened to
awesome.
one.
Good band.
They're
Good band.
awesome.
But they're very cool.
I like Bad Flower.
I love that.
I like that. They're cool.
They're so
Yeah.
cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
And have you connected with these bands? Like, do they know that you love them?
I know that. No. They.
Okay.
I follow them on Instagram and they follow me on Instagram. but it's just
That
like
is so cool.
from afar.
I will
we-
make all the
we know that
connections because I love
We're
bringing
playing
the
at
whole
a festival
community
together.
We are. Which
I
one?
don't know. We're playing various festivals
Yeah, I
this
feel
year. I
like
don't
we
know.
both know of each other, but we've never actually like
Met.
properly
Oh, I
met.
love Turnstile. and
Oh,
we're about
Turnstile.
to we're about
So
to play in
good.
the same three festivals as them.
Yes.
And like I just want to say hi.
Oh,
One
it's
time.
so great. I'm so happy for them. They've been doing it for such a long time. They finally got
know.
their
They're great.
Grammy nominations.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they're
Good
so
for them.
good.
They deserve all of it.
They're awesome.
That's
They're
so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about Nandy Bushell, the drummer from England?
Of course,
Of course,
I
of
feel
course,
like
of
you guys
course.
really
Yeah, yeah.
connect. I mean,
Yes.
she's amazing.
she's awesome.
I mean, her first show was like playing Wembley with like Lenny Kravitz.
I saw it. I was just like,
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I mean, do
She
you feel like
is.
when you find out about these other artists, like you want to like connect with them or give advice or support? I feel like it's like
you know what? I feel it's more of like just to like say hey, like we see you, because like we started the
Yes.
same way, you know,
course.
and it's like an
getting
internet
those
thing.
little, like shout outs. You feel very supported and seen. And it just like really
Yes.
motivates you. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Because
Let's
at
keep
this
doing
point,
it.
I
Let's
think
keep
she
doing it.
probably knows more than we do.
Yeah, no. I would have it from a shout out from her. Yeah.
Hi.
I want to talk now about Muse in particular
yes.
because you guys are massive Muse fans. You've
Like-
always been massive Muse fans.
Yeah, Muse.
And your whole lives,
Too
you have been
much.
sort of manifesting
Yes.
opening, playing with Muse. And
Yes.
it finally happened.
It
And
finally
the video of you guys finding out that you were going to open for them is the most, it made me cry.
I cried.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. It was the
Wow, I guess I got to see that video at some point. Comment down below if I should watch that video.
most endearing, beautiful. I mean, it was sort of like a lesson for everyone that dreams do come true, and it's not a cliche because you guys are proof that it's true. And if you put the hard
Aw.
work and the time,
Yeah.
but it's
Exactly.
true. And I think that moment when you found out
Hard
you were
work,
going to
man,
open
hard
for
work.
Muse, like tell me more about that, and then I want to hear about actually playing with Muse.
Okay. Okay.
We knew that Muse was coming to play to Mexico, of course, because we were like, I already had tickets to go with all of our friends and everything.
Like you were just going to go as a fan.
Yeah.
We've seen them
definitely.
many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
Aren't they one of the most incredible live
they're
bands?
just
period?
amazing.
Yeah,
They're
they're
so,
so good.
amazing.
It's insane,
But
right?
like we grew up with their music. We saw them
We did covers
Like,
of their songs.
all the time. It was just they were our idols.
Yeah.
They still are.
Which is okay. So we knew that they were going to Mexico, so we like usually just throw a pitch like, "Hey, we want to open for you."
Yeah.
And but
Well, we go through the promoter. Like,
and
just
then
like-
the pitch arrives, and it's either yes or like, "Thank you, but no thank you." Right? But
Thanks.
so
Yeah.
we were all like, it was a thank you, but no thanks. They haven't said anything. It's a week until they arrive to Mexico and the tour starts.
Yeah.
And we're not opening for them. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And then it was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we were having to do promo. We were recording videos.
Yes.
And we were messing up on the videos, and we were frustrated on that. And then
Yeah.
Rudy was like, "Okay,
So
we
we
have to
were in
record
such
it
a bad mood.
again." We were in a bad mood.
Like,
If you see that video, we're all just like, "Okay, we have to do this again." Right, we're the warning.
Dude, that's hilarious.
And then Rudy's our manager.
Yeah.
Rudy's like, "And you're opening for Muse in their Mexico dates." And it was just
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh my god, because we really thought like it wasn't gonna happen. It was a week until the concert.
Yeah.
It was like that doesn't happen. You see it months and months in advance, and so it was pretty late last minute.
Yeah.
But we
Wow,
were super
a
excited about
week?
it. I didn't feel like it was happening until the very day.
Because like
Yes.
we had like our first show was gonna be until like
March.
March.
Like this
so we
year.
had nothing planned for this year. So it was suddenly like we're gonna play in a week. We have a show.
my
Okay.
God.
We had
Oh, wow.
4 shows.
Of the year in our hometown
Stadium.
opening for Muse. So we were like,
No pressure.
No
big deal, guys.
pressure.
No
Yeah.
big
No
deal.
pressure, no big deal.
And then we also played the Foro Sol, which is like
Yeah.
One of
the
the biggest-
biggest
one of the biggest
stadium in
stages.
our
in
country.
our country. It's in
Yeah.
Mexico City, and they sold out the
Nice.
first night. So it was like we played in front of 50,000 people opening for Muse.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was
It was
Talking
insane.
about nerves, like were you
Oh my
freaking
God.
out? Like what did you do to not freak out? Like what were you doing to stay grounded?
We usually don't get that nervous for shows. It's just like, okay, let's do. We'll have fun. But it was like we're opening for Muse. What's
in front of 50,000 people in the largest arena in our country.
It was just like
Yes, a lot
No
at once.
big
okay,
deal.
okay. It was also really cold. So it
was
was just like
kinda
trying to
cold.
keep warm and just like being like, okay, breathe.
Yeah.
Everything is
breathe,
going to be fine.
breathe, Yeah.
That must have been so. It's cold. You're opening for like your dream like your idols, and then in front of 50,000 people in your hometown, in like the biggest venue. Like, I don't even know. They're just like, breathe. They'll be fine. It's okay. Just breathe. I mean, that is insane. Like, I can't even. That is so insane. Like, just wow. Just so freaking crazy, man.
This before, which is a crazy thought. Like, oh, you've played the stadium before, but it was just like, okay, you just have to do the best job you can do.
Yeah.
Your
yeah.
whole team is here, and they pulled through. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna be great. We're gonna win over that crowd.
That's how I think of it.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
But then you just look over to your side and you see Muse staring at you while you're playing. And you're like, oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, imagine.
And we got to meet them the very first night.
Yes.
Like after we
They
played
were
in
so
Monterrey,
nice.
everyone's so the
They-
nicest people.
Oh, it's
They
wonderful
invited us
hear.
to hang out post show, and we just like,
That's great.
In the first show, and we're like, that's not a thing. Like usually it was our goal to say hello to them. Like by the fourth show, maybe get a
Maybe.
picture. Like maybe.
Yes, we were just
And
like-
then it was the first night, and we're having drinks with them. And we're like,
After the show.
what is going on? What is going on? They're the nicest people.
They were
and we're
so
just
cool.
talking music with them and just like talking about life. And they were like, no, we saw your covers of us. And we're like, stop it.
my god. We're like,
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
That's the
It was
best.
They're
beautiful.
Wow.
It was
amazing.
beautiful. And so we played 4 shows with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dun, 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 dun,
Like-
dun, dun. Okay, so
it's really weird because we haven't talked about this
no.
at all.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's go.
So
After the 4th show, we hung out again, and Matt just like casually comes over to our little table where we're just like hanging. And it was actually a very low table. He just like crouches us down and he's like,
I was like,
"Hey,
do you
guys."
want to share? He's like, no, fine.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like, he's just there, and he just casually goes like, "Hey, do you guys want to join us in our UK run?" And we're just like,
And like,
My
Wow.
and we're like, "Are you sure?" Like, really? And he's like, "Yeah, it would be great to have you." And we're just like, "Of course, we would love that." But like, he said it so
Like,
casually,
nonchalant.
Yeah, so chill.
that
Yeah.
we're just like, "Is he serious?" Or is he
and usually like touring things, it has to go through so many people
Of course.
for it to actually happen.
Of
So
course.
like he's just saying it like it's
Right. So we just took it so
at
chill.
the end, like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we'll see you in the UK." Like the
we're
whole
like, it
team.
was
confirmed.
So it was like legit.
So it's official.
And we're like,
Wow.
what? So it's at the end of May and at the end of June.
Yeah, we're doing
It's
4
like 4
shows in the
dates.
UK. With
Oh
them.
my god.
It's Muse and Royal Blood. Yeah.
greatest tour. That is the greatest tour.
It's just, I still can't believe it. Like every time I just remember it.
I'm so happy
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank
I'm criing.
I cried. It's
beautiful.
Aw.
You deserve it all.
Thank you
wow,
so
what a
much.
killer
Yeah.
tour.
And it's just like, okay, one thing, it's like opening for them
Yes.
in our country where it makes sense. Like we're a band there. And don't get me wrong, that was like a dream come true.
Yeah,
We didn't
of
expect
course.
anything more than that. But it's like they liked us enough to be like, come to the UK. Like to get it to like it's like
That's huge.
Yes,
That is
huge.
it's the
insane.
ultimate compliment.
it is. We feel very honored.
Do you feel, because you're so gracious and grateful, but do you feel like these moments where, you know what, like we belong, like we deserve it, like
You know,
how, like
it
feels
takes like
yeah. It's
we have to
sometimes
have
we don't believe
conversations
it.
about it. We're like, we worked really hard for this, and it's not only
Yeah.
with us, but
Yeah,
like
for a whole
after,
team.
After the
Yeah.
whole, after
Aw.
that dinner we had with Muse, our whole team, we were just in the hotel lobby, like,
we were like,
what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And we started
Yeah.
talking about like our whole journey to get
yes.
where we are as a
So-
team
and everything that happened in like that week
in a week.
right.
Wow.
after we
whole-
did the 4 show.
Yeah, it's difficult to give yourself credit for a lot of things just because, well, I mean, you're going to always be your biggest critic. Like, you're going to be your biggest, you're going to always be judging yourself, the most. And yeah, it's kind of hard to just be like, man, I worked for all this and I deserve it. But, after you think about it a lot, sometimes you just kind of own up to it. It's like, man, I worked for this and I freaking deserve it, which I love that.
Our whole lives changed
Yeah.
in a week. Our whole year, like the touring prospect was
Yeah.
just like from
We
one day
had
to
no
another, it
idea
just
our year was
changed.
gonna start like that.
So we
Not
do
even
take those
close.
moments to like ground ourselves and just be really thankful for each other
Aw,
and the
that's
work and
beautiful,
the
yeah.
sacrifice we have all put in.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's just amazing. Like I still
It
get
is.
like just
I know, and
Yeah.
to think it's even crazier to think that that's gonna be our first ever show in Europe.
And you're
Like,
Oh,
it's gonna be
my
stadiums.
God.
It's gonna be
Wow.
Muse and Royal Blood.
Muse and Royal Blood.
Are you kidding me? It's just so
the
good.
first time we ever like literally still. I know. I'm just,
But you have been putting in the work. This has been your life commitment.
Yes.
you
Yes,
know?
it
I mean, the
has.
fact that you've had 10 years behind you and you guys are literally like, didn't you just turn 23?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
By the way. I mean, it's unbelievable. And also to think like growing up in the public eye as musicians and artists and as women, I mean, that's not easy. You know?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that you guys have each other, which probably makes it easier.
Yes.
But it's still very difficult. Tell me about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Has that been challenging to grow up and develop, you know, as women in the public eye and on?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I've actually mentioned this before that I'm very glad that they're very safe. But if they seem like they're safe, it seems like they're very healthy. They're very happy. Because growing up as women, especially so young, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, but just growing up so young for any artist is really, really difficult. The fact that they're women does make it more difficult, but it's just the fact that, you know, they're still going through like puberty and stuff, and it's like they're making music, they're in the public eye, they have people watching down, they have people watching everywhere, like from every angle, and they're like kids, you know, they can't, they're not old enough to get a license, they can't drink, and just like, you know, they're so young. So I'm glad that they seem very happy and very safe. You know, that's a good thing. But it is you're very vulnerable. And I'm just glad that nothing bad happened to them.
On the road.
That I know of
I
at
feel
least, but that's
like
very
we've
good.
been very, I'm gonna say sheltered in a way by our parents.
yes,
Um,
they took care of us.
they
really well.
did,
No, that's
but
wonderful to hear.
like
Yeah.
it is a thing.
Mhm.
Everyone has opinions, especially about women in
Mhm.
general. But like
Yep.
everything we do or don't do has some sort of criticism. Like, it has some sort of
Oh, yeah.
reaction, and it's exhausting to see like a comparison. I see like people do what we do,
Right.
but they're not
Yeah.
women, and it doesn't have that sort of backlash that we do.
Right.
Yeah,
Like in our country when we tour, when it's so many things that we
yeah.
just take it as like, oh, that's how life is, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's for us.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a global experience. It's a women
But
experience.
you know what? I think you touched on a really important point for us, that we have each other.
Yeah.
Because it was a big thing, especially growing up. Like, Ale had to like record an album when she was in 4th grade. So like,
Jesus.
yeah. So like, it was so weird because no one in her generation was going what she was going
course
through.
not.
So like,
That's very
course not.
isolating.
we just
Yeah.
kind of like, well, we're in this together
Yeah,
type of
it's
thing.
Yeah,
it's
that
very
is
important.
epic.
I feel like it has been very important that we have each other, because even at like right now, our
Yeah.
friends, like, we go through so many different things that
On the
on the daily. So
Yeah.
it's really, I feel like it has been really important that we have each other
Yes.
for like
'Cause
those
we
moments.
understand.
We
Of
understand
course.
each other.
We
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's about like right now we have certain rules with like because we've had experience with growing up like with social media and just being
Mhm.
like public. It's like you don't read comments. You
Yeah.
don't like you
They're not gonna add
you
anything.
do your
Right.
job
Yeah, that's true.
and you're doing as best as you can, and that's it. If you ask for
Love
people's
that.
opinions, great, you're asking for them. But if not, like just stay as far away as possible.
Yeah.
because it can be like pretty damaging.
I mean,
Oh,
that's a
it
good
can.
life hack that we should all pay
Yeah.
attention to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you need to stay away from social media and like comments and like, I mean, me personally, I try not to let people get to me too much. And I love how they were talking about like whether sometimes you do or you don't is still a criticism regardless. That's like kind of, and I'm not trying to compare myself to like their struggles they go through. I mean, they're like way bigger than me, and they go through like their own separate struggles. So this is on a different plane. But I would just say like just like small little things too, like. For example, like some people, they're like, your mic is too quiet. Some people are like, your mic is too loud. Some people have told me, they're like, hey, I want the interview in the bigger screen. I want you in that small screen in the corner. And then I've had people be like, well, no, you're the reactor. You're the person. So you should be the main screen. You should have them in the corner. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Like whether you do or you don't, you know, there's got to be someone that's unhappy. And then I actually got this really genuine comment that told me just just do whatever I want to, it's just as long as it makes me happy. And I really needed to hear that because, sometimes there are a lot of people and some people kind of come at me with like a lot of negative stuff, but anyways, it's really genuine and it's really sweet sometimes when, sometimes you get that one person that's just like, it's okay. Just do whatever you want to. I'm loving your content. And yeah, but for them, like to have to deal with so much that just stay, especially like when they're young, I'm glad they stayed away from those comments, because sometimes it only takes like one comment to like just destroy you, like destroy your confidence and destroy everything you're doing. So, everyone, if you're still watching at this point in the video, don't listen to those haters. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on living. Keep on working. Keep on grinding. Don't listen to people that tell you can't do it, because there have been lots of people that told me I couldn't do it. I'm still here. I'm still doing stuff. I told someone told me the other day to stop making videos. They say, you suck. You should probably stop making videos and do something else. And I was like, you know what? No thanks, because I'm still here. I'm still continuing, and I don't freaking care, because, if you don't like me, whatever. I'm still going to keep on doing what you're doing. Just doing what everyone else is doing, because everyone else loves the warning. Everyone loves watching these reactions. So I'm just gonna keep on doing just what you guys want me to do, and I'm just gonna keep on doing what I want to do, because I listen to my audience and I love doing these things for you, but I also love doing things for me. So these videos are kind of for you and me. And I love it. I love reacting. I love listening to this. But anyways, I am on a rant too much. Let's listen to the rest of the interview. I love you guys so much.
Don't do that.
You're right. It's not helpful. It's not constructive.
It's not healthy.
And we get to like listen through other people, like maybe in our management's like, even if you're not reading the comments, know that there's a lot of people who are very happy with what you're doing. So like, even if we get that overall, like, there's a lot of people who are so grateful for your music. We're like, that's all we need to hear.
Oh yeah.
And we do get like that a lot, like in meet and greets. To hear those stories, it's very beautiful. But like to be constantly like at it and looking for it, it can be pretty tight.
Yeah, that's toxic and not helpful.
Exactly.
Yes. So the Muse tour in the UK, I'm still laughing because it's like unbelievable. I mean, even that's already like a lifelong dream. What would be sort of like the ultimate dream or the ultimate milestone or collaboration? Or
good question. That's an interesting question.
I don't know.
Beyond that, it's just like
I feel like it still isn't real.
Yeah, right.
So like touring with Muse is still my dream.
Yeah.
So now it's just like we have to like set new goals. Like there's always things that we want to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like now if we say something, we just bring it in and we manifest it, and hopefully like it comes true. Like it has happened so far.
Yeah.
So
but definitely collaborations are on there. Like I feel like we haven't had that big of an experience with that, because we're like, I don't know, we feel not that we're not worthy, but it's feel like how do we get to do that? I don't even.
The thing that's weird is like our first collaboration ever was working with Alessia Cara for the.
Oh, that's right. For the Metallica.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So that was our first deep dive into it, and it was just like a huge thing, and we're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So like I'm afraid to think of something else. Like what do you want to do? Like I'm asking you, like what do you want to do? Like what are you looking forward to?
Okay, like if we like shoot to the moon, literally, it would be actually like to write something with Muse. You know?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
also,
great.
I feel like writing with other, like I would, like Willow.
Oh my god!
It's just really cool to see like rock coming back.
I love Willow so
people
much.
that you
Like
wouldn't
a big
expect.
women collaboration would be amazing.
That'd be
Yes.
awesome.
Just like a
That'd be
full
awesome.
on.
Whoever wants to participate.
I love this.
You're
Put it
very
out there
welcome.
right now.
Just
Manifest
putting it out
this.
Just
there.
like
I love that idea.
would love that.
Great.
yes.
But you're right. Artists like Willow are really putting it back up, and waving the flag. It's so exciting.
It's cool to see. It's cool to see because it brings more people in to what we love. So we get to share what we do with them. It just becomes like this bigger thing, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just that sharing that musical connection, that energy, that spirit, that community. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Definitely.
So we do this thing on the show called Deep Cuts, where I will ask you guys all a question.
Ooh, okay. Like da da da.
Okay. Should we go like this each time?
Oh.
Which way should we go?
No, you know what? Let's do it from here to here.
No.
Because Ali's really shy. And we usually say the answers, and then Alice is like, "Oh, me too."
Yeah,
I'm gonna
That's
say
hilarious.
that.
Let's go.
So we can.
Don't worry, they're not tough. They're not
Okay.
tough questions.
Okay.
They're just like
Okay.
personal. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Name a song, album, or artist that changed your life.
Ooh.
Honestly, I would say Muse, like The Second Law.
Oh, great.
Really, like
yeah.
I feel like that was like the first album I actually like listened to like fully, like the whole album. So I would say Second Law.
Interesting.
Isn't that a thing to listen to an album in its entirety?
Yeah.
It's such a thing,
it's
an
a thing.
experience
Yeah.
that can't be
It's
described.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like knowing an album, right?
Knowing an
Yeah.
album. Okay, go get it.
Me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, computer.
Ah,
Radiohead.
Great choice.
I
I knew you were
Radiohead.
gonna say that. I knew
It's
you were
been
gonna say
very
that.
recent. It was last year. I don't know
Yes.
why. Like I don't know why I had never listened to it, but I listened to it and I was just like tears.
Yes.
Just like what a great album.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It doesn't matter when you discover a great album. It's just that you discover it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is
Exactly.
for you
That's-
is the
that
right
is true.
time.
Definitely. And okay, so I'm gonna pick a song because like it literally changed my life when my dad would play the Pulse tour, Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb live. Literally changed
Comfortably Numb.
something within my soul.
There was something there. Yeah.
It was something there. The whole
The first time I heard "Comfortably Numb," I remember like when it was probably like a year or two ago. And I say heard, I don't mean the first time I ever heard the song. I heard it a lot when I was a kid, but I mean I looked it up and I sat down and I listened to it and I focused on it, and it just felt like this whole new world, like this whole new dimension. And it was like the first time I really looked up the song and actually sat down and listened to it and honed in on it. And yeah, it felt like so eye-opening. Like I was just in a whole new world. It felt really refreshing at the time. I remember that.
thing, you know, it was just wow.
Isn't that incredible? The power of just hearing even
Yeah.
a song. Like
Yeah.
you said, it like gets inside of you. And it's
It
part
changes
It
everything.
changed,
It changes.
like, your
you know,
chemical-
the
Yeah.
thing that most like impacted me is like at the ending of the song, he's just like soloing on the guitar, and I'm feeling so many things. He's not even saying anything. It's just
Like
he
he's saying
hits
so
he's
much.
saying so much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
These guys, great
man.
answers.
Yeah.
We're at a
Thank
great
you.
start. Okay.
All right.
What was your first concert? And maybe you guys were all together.
Oh, we were.
Okay, so
It's
so it was Maroon 5, wasn't it?
was Maroon 5.
Yeah,
It
we
was
saw
Maroon
Maroon 5
Maroon 5.
in Monterrey, but how old was I?
Wait,
I think it was 2010.
It was
dude.
overexposed.
She will be loved, and she will be loved. She will. I'm sorry, that's the song I think of whenever I think of Maroon 5. That has so many hits, though.
Was the Overexposed tour?
Let
Yeah.
me look at the
So-
year, and that was the year we saw them.
But
we were
our
pretty
first
young.
rock
I cannot sing those high notes, by the way. I'm sorry.
concert, like, well, it was Kiss.
Was Kiss.
Oh,
Kiss.
it was
Incredible.
Which is great as well.
Kiss, okay.
Great.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome.
Wait,
And
I
even
want-
seeing your first live music, like seeing Maroon 5 or whoever it is,
Yeah,
it's
it was
pretty
great.
It was
transformative.
2012.
It was
2012.
amazing.
It was a
2012.
great
You
year.
were 12. I was 10. You were 7.
7.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
It was
It was
It
so
was so
fun.
fun. It
It
was
was
so
a
fun.
good first concert. Like, it was
it
just.
was.
That's
It
a
was
great
great.
first
It was
concert,
yeah,
for
it was cute.
sure.
And we would like literally play the album over and over again, so
Just
we
to
would like
learn
be
everything.
prepared.
Yeah.
Go.
You guys are so committed. I love that. You're so my
It
people.
was looking up the set lists and just
Yes.
like learning
I love
everything.
that. I'm the same way. Yeah, we're the same.
It makes
I
a
love
difference.
It does make a difference. What is your favorite movie?
The Batman movie, the
Dark
what's it
Knight.
called? The Dark Knight.
Dark
The Dark
Knight,
Knight. I
yeah.
saw it recently.
Ooh, interesting.
Like I literally saw it like a week ago. I love that movie so much. I just love it so much. I don't know why.
get it.
I
It's
love
a great
so much.
choice.
Yeah.
Great
Okay.
choice.
I know you're gonna say.
I'm
I
gonna
think.
say 2.
Oh.
Matrix and Inception. I know that.
Matrix and Inception are
Inception,
really
yeah,
good movies, but that was not gonna be my answer.
Oh.
I'm gonna. Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, The Matrix. Okay, but my other favorite movie
Matrix.
that just like Ponyo.
Ponyo. Ponyo is such a good movie. It
It's-
is.
It's a Studio
It warms
Ghibli
my
movie.
heart. I watch it every night to fall asleep.
Good picks,
Because
man.
it brings me so much like peace.
Peace. That's
Yes.
I
wonderful.
adore it. Yeah.
I love
And
it.
Ponyo.
I'm gonna say Lord of the Rings
Yes.
because
Lord
like,
of the
the
Rings.
soundtrack just
Oh, that's
kinda,
good,
like,
that's great.
yes.
Oh man, the soundtrack, dude. Someone made actually Bradley Hall made a whole Lord of the Rings where he covered every song in Lord of the Rings and turned the entire soundtrack into like a metal piece. It's beautiful.
And one movie that I have to religiously watch every year, it doesn't like go with me at all, but it's The Sound of Music.
It's a classic.
The Sound of
It's
Music,
classic.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have to watch it every year.
It's
But
beautiful.
It becomes like a thing. It's like it does. We just hear the sound, and we're like,
And we're
Danny's
like,
watching The Sound of Music again.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times have you seen this movie? Like,
I know. Obscene amount. Like it's more times that you should see it.
know it all.
Yeah.
Is something like something trigger you to have to go see it, or is just like a part of like, oh, it's time to watch it?
You know, I think it is a trigger sometimes. I would just like feel the necessity of like, the hills are alive. Let's go. I need to have that. That is incredible.
The hills are alive. The hills are alive. The sound of music.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm dying. It's amazing. Okay. What is your favorite meal or cuisine?
Cuisine Mexican
Mexican, yeah.
wait, Anna
Mexican
goes
food.
first.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry.
It's
Excited. So
Yeah,
excited.
so honestly, same. Like any type of taco in Mexico,
Yes.
In Mexico.
is the best thing ever.
In
Or like my
Mexico.
mom's like homemade meals. Those are
yeah.
always-
Aw, dude, that is so
Sopa de
genuine.
tortilla.
Let's go.
Tortilla soup. I don't know if it's
Yes.
it's
Dude, I freaking love Mexican food. Now I'm hungry. Why are you guys making me hungry? No, stop making me hungry.
I don't care. No, it has to be good. Like there's some
it does
pretty
have to
bad
be-
ones.
It does have to
Yeah.
be good,
But nothing warms my soul after like like usually when we're like doing media in Mexico or touring or whatever, you just arrive to the hotel and you order a sopa de tortilla and just eat that. Oh my god.
yeah, when you're
Yep.
really tired.
So comforting.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just
So comforting.
Comfort
I'm gonna
food, man.
go with a snack version, but a good elote is like,
Dude, I'm so
like-
hungry now. Oh my
Street
gosh.
corn.
So
my God.
good.
It's so good.
I love that we're
like
representing.
Mexican,
Yeah,
we're
no,
representing.
it's the best cuisine.
Yeah.
Like it's just
It is the
just,
best.
It just
It is
is.
the best.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I want to go with you guys to eat all
To
of these.
Mexico. Yeah,
yes,
for
I
sure.
do.
You are
Mi casa es tu
very
casa.
much invited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Anytime
Oh,
you are
thank you.
there.
Okay, it's happening. If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
Oh,
I never know how to answer this question because
that is a tough question. Me neither. I don't know how to answer that question either. I don't know what. Music is just like my passion, man. Like I just love it. Like people always ask me, like, all right, what's your favorite subject, or what's your, what would you be if you weren't a musician, or if you weren't a guitar teacher, if you weren't a music instructor, what would you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, dude, I just love music so much. It's hard. Like I can do other stuff. But it's like music. I always want to be my main passion. And it's so hard for me. I'm curious. I wonder how they answer. I'm curious as to how they answer this question.
I really don't know.
Yeah. You're a musician.
What's your
through and
identity? You were never not a musician in your
so
life.
It's existential.
I
at
have
one
no
point.
Yeah.
idea. Like I actually have no idea
Okay,
what
but
I would
since
be.
I know, I'm gonna go ahead and answer.
Yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
would definitely be a music teacher.
I love that.
Oh,
That's
you would be a good teacher.
Music teacher.
amazing.
Oh, man.
I love teaching, even though, like, even if maybe I don't know everything in the world, but I think it's part of it, sharing what you do know and kind of like figuring out. And I think it's a very
Yeah,
much
that's
like
great.
teach and learn from whoever you're like.
That's
I love teaching. Teaching is really fun. Like I love teaching people. It's honestly great.
I love that like mix of information and just like of passion that goes.
Yeah.
around.
Oh, me too.
I love it. I would love to be
I
a
wish
teacher.
I was like that. I'm a horrible teacher.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
She is. She tried to teach me like drums.
terrible
Yeah,
she is a
like
bad
it's,
teacher.
it's
Wait, I'm dying.
it's just a thing.
terrible teacher.
She
But
is.
it's not like I'm mean. I'm just
She's
like
just not good at
you're
it.
not doing it correctly.
Help me.
but
that doesn't
explain.
show you
Yeah,
how.
I don't know
You're
how
You're
to.
not good at it. You can't
yeah,
do it.
exactly. That's me.
Wow, that's hilarious to know.
If I had to do something besides music, I would be a writer. Like
A writer.
like book
Oh, yeah.
writer.
yeah,
Yeah, I
a
got
novel
A
writer.
novel, right?
Yeah, it has to be something creative. I can't. I don't imagine myself doing anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ooh, I could be an actress. Ooh. I don't know. It's a joke. We're pretty bad at acting. But maybe one day if we practice well enough. But no, I would be a writer.
That's
Or
really cool.
like a producer, like something within music.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
It's
within
not a
music.
teacher.
It's hard to like.
Just not a
It's not a
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah.
Something within music. I feel like.
You could be a model.
No.
You could.
We always hype her up on her looks because, like,
That's really
Sweet. That is so
Yes.
sweet.
You're tall.
You're tall.
I'm not
yeah.
tall enough.
Lie.
No, that's not a lie. But either way, I
love
really have no
witnessing
idea.
the sisterly love. It's the
Yeah, I
best.
really
It's
have
the
no idea.
best.
Yeah. But anyway.
Okay, if you could meet any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
Goodness.
Okay.
Michael Jackson. I love Michael
Tough
Jackson.
one.
I don't know why. It was just like
Michael Jackson,
when
that's
I
a
was
good
young,
pick.
I loved Michael Jackson. I was
She
like, Michael
had
Jackson.
a birthday party that was. Oh
No,
no,
I
you
wanted
didn't
it.
get to
I
have
wanted
it.
it to
It was
be-
Hannah
Okay, if you meet Michael Jackson, just be a little careful of how young you are. Okay, just watch out. Is all I'm saying.
Montana.
It was Hannah Montana, but I wanted to be like Michael Jackson theme, but we didn't find. Like, my
mom
parents
But yeah,
were
Michael
like,
Jackson
There's
is
no
great.
Michael Jackson pinata
Yeah.
anywhere.
For a Michael Jackson pinata.
Well, in Mexico, like the birthday parties, you have a
You have
piñata.
that,
Right,
like you
period.
are too. So yeah, I don't know why like Michael Jackson.
Shakira. I love
Oh, yeah.
Shakira.
Shakira's.
love her.
Oh man, that's
Nice.
If I
awesome.
would no, but I'm also like I don't want to meet her because I would be so nervous and that would be really embarrassing for me. I have another answer.
I would love to meet Marina. I'm so sorry.
Marina
Charlie.
from the Diamonds? Yeah.
Marina.
From the Diamonds.
Marina Diamonds.
And the wait, I just want to defend myself. I'm the OG
Yeah,
fan.
you are.
I used to listen to her in middle school.
Yeah, she's awesome.
My English just messed up.
And I feel like if I could just like sit down and have breakfast with Prince, it would be like a whole different. It would be like
Oh man, Prince,
I would-
dude, Prince is. Yeah, Prince is another great pick. Michael Jackson, great pick. Sakita, great pick, and yeah, just wow, just amazing picks.
don't even know what to expect,
Yeah.
and that's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Prince was
Oh, man.
incredible,
I would be
man.
scared to meet
Yeah.
all these
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of don't want to meet
Definitely.
them,
Same.
but
Mhm.
you never
Although
know.
you met Muse and that worked out.
No,
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nerve wracking. I can't believe
It
we did
was.
that.
I don't. Yeah.
Amazing.
What is the most valuable advice that someone gave to you?
I can start.
Yeah. Go get
Okay.
it. Go get it.
This,
be tough.
It's really
I love that.
simple, really simple advice. But our sound engineer, Lalo, who I love very much, and I miss very much, we haven't seen him in a while because we haven't been touring, but he said to me, just have fun.
Yeah.
He was just- advice.
Diviértete, Paula. I
That's
started
true.
crying when he said that. Like, you're
Wow.
so funny, Lalo. I just need to have fun.
Yeah.
It's something along those lines, but like try to like enjoy the little things in life because sometimes you take
It
them for
just goes
granted,
by.
Yes.
and
in
sometimes
our
that's
jobs, it's so
and sometimes
important.
that's what you need the most. You know,
Yeah.
to like really appreciate the small things that make you happy. Because like when you're on tour and you're not home and anything, like you start to appreciate a lot of things a lot more. So yeah.
Yes.
And
That's great
I
advice.
have two. One of them is do not worry about things you cannot control.
Yeah, that's a
Like
great
you
one.
cannot. So why have
Like,
them
let it
in
affect
your
you. Yeah,
system?
yeah.
And two, it's not a burden to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Because you are going to live with yourself. Like you have to be your own thing. You are like your buddy for the rest of your life. It's not a waste of time or a burden.
Absolutely, man. Like you need to take care of yourself. You just need to. These are all great points, by the way. Like I love the just have fun is such a good piece of. It's so simple, and if you look at it at face value, you know it doesn't really seem like that much. But if you look much deeper, when you look at all the garbage that's going around in the world, you look at how sad and miserable people could be, or things can be, or everything that could go wrong, or everything that could mess up, and then it's just like someone just like, yeah, go have fun. Just go enjoy yourself, you know, just go have a good time. You know, if there's any time to have a good time is right now. And so I understand that. And yeah, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself before anyone else. Just make sure that you're okay, that you're having fun, that you're doing well. It's never a burden to take care of yourself. You know, it's never being selfish to just make sure that you're okay. So I completely agree with Danny. That's a great I agree with all of them, but yeah, but Danny's point really just kind of touched me in a personal level. Like that's amazing.
Afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To really work on being happy with yourself. Yeah.
I'm taking notes here.
That is, no, I'm just,
You're absolutely right.
I'm like,
So wise.
No,
I love that.
that's very nice.
It is. It's so true.
Yeah, and
It's
you're
so
right.
true.
especially like in our line of work, I feel like taking care of yourself sometimes feels like not important. There's so many things that feel bigger than that.
And you know,
And it's
with
really
any
important.
type
Yeah.
of work,
Yeah.
I get how like you have to work, you have to get this done, you have to like, but wait a second, like
You have to be good
you
yourself
have
to be
to,
able to
like-
do that. Yeah,
yes, and it will benefit you. You
Yeah.
will
Right.
work better.
you're totally right.
You're
What a slay.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Who is your role model?
Oh, I think we have like the same
The same-
answer,
do we
but
all?
Okay, maybe not. Okay,
Like,
maybe
I'm
not.
really scared.
Yeah, okay.
Because
let's
I
go.
don't have a creative answer. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say like you guys are.
Yeah.
I was
gonna say my
like,
family.
Oh my
my
gosh.
family. Yeah.
That
we're
is
the
so
same thing.
Because like when
So
I fail
genuine.
at some things, they're not failing at them. So it's an example of like what I can do.
Yeah, we always like
We
learn
just,
from
like,
each because
from
like,
each
we
other.
have things that obviously like some of us are better at other things, so we can learn from each other, which is really nice.
Oh yeah.
You know, to
And
have
you
that.
know, I feel like it's grounding because no idol, whoever is perfect. Like we're all human,
Right.
So it's
and
just
we've
True,
seen like
true.
horrible sides of each other.
Yeah.
we know the good and the bad.
Keeping it real.
So
We
I
know
feel
the good
like
and the bad.
Yeah.
we can appreciate.
And even with the good
Yeah.
and the bad, how we handle those good and bads are inspiring.
Let's go, girls.
Just-
We're
I
we're
love
too far away.
I love that.
We're too
I mean,
far away.
Unconditional love.
No, so sad. Saddest day in my life.
Knowing
Yeah.
all of the bad things also is important.
Let's go.
That was the best, guys.
This feels like a therapy session.
it
It is.
Beautiful.
Okay. What is something fans would be surprised to learn about you?
No. That I diamond paint.
Yeah, well, I do that as well, but I have no idea. Yeah.
When I need a distressor, I'm just like,
It's so relaxing.
let's just go and put
Just
little
one by
diamonds
one,
on
it's
paper.
just-
Do you want to say
Okay.
something that people wouldn't know about me?
Maybe.
Yeah, because I'm lost.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like I share everything.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You
actually.
do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on.
That you're into finances.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that is something
all
people
right.
don't know about me.
Really? Wow.
So-
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love finance. Okay, more
Yeah.
than anything, I'm really into like. That's gonna sound weird, like corruption. I like learning about it. I like watching like docuseries about
Yes.
it, and I love
Fascinating.
taxes and like Wall Street.
Which
I just
said
love,
no one ever.
love-
All right, comment down below if you want Pow to do your taxes.
I love
I'm
learning
surprised your
about
favorite
it.
movie wasn't like Wolf of Wall Street or something. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I really want to like at one point in my life
Just know how it
study
works.
finance.
Yeah.
So like no one like can screw me over with my taxes. I'm just gonna know what. No, like it's. I'm gonna like.
Yeah, you can take care of it.
I'm
Pal.
gonna like give advice on what to invest, what not to invest.
that's
I'm
great.
gonna be
Thank you.
amazing at it. Yes, I
I
love
love
finance.
that I answered for you.
Thank
though.
you, thank you.
This is what you could have been instead of being a musician.
right.
You could have been like an
An accountant.
accountant.
Oh yeah, an accountant. Yep.
I think accounting is so cool. I'm just gonna say
That's
that.
really cool.
Yeah.
Good for
That
you.
is cool.
All right.
I have no idea. Help me out here.
Something people
Let
don't know
me
about you.
think about it as well. Okay, she would definitely be the one who survives the zombie apocalypse out of all of us.
Would I?
Wow.
Oh.
No, because I feel like
She doesn't agree with this.
she's so resourceful though. Like if we have
she is
no
resourceful.
GPS, she knows where to go. Though.
I was
wow.
really good with directions.
Directions.
Yeah.
She's great with
Internal
maps.
compass.
Yes,
Yeah.
navigation.
That's amazing.
That's it. Let's
That's
go.
it.
There we go.
It came in really
Yeah.
handy when we were at Disney World.
Okay, we were alone for the first time in Disney World. Like my parents weren't with us for the first time in our lives, and we had the map.
But
We
here's
were
the thing,
so
I
lost.
don't think I'm good with maps. You're just really bad with maps. I'm
You're
like, how can you
good.
mess up a map?
No.
Like you
They're
have
just
it
really
right
bad.
there.
She's
Yeah.
good with maps.
Like,
Yeah, she's good with
That's a
navigation.
talent. That's a good
Hey!
talent.
Yeah.
We found it.
We found it. Well,
Yeah.
ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys
Yes.
are the best. You deserve everything that's coming your way because you
Thank
made
you.
it happen. You really did. I hope you guys recognize that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
You guys are
thanks.
making it all
Thank you.
happen.
Exactly.
We're
They
definitely
made it
gonna
happen.
give everything we got
Yes.
in
This
the
is
next
gonna be a
coming
great
thing.
year.
Yes,
It's gonna
let's
be a
go.
great year.
Let's
Good
go.
year. Let's go.
It's going to be a great year. Thank you. The warning.
I'm in my comfy, cozy cardigan because it's therapy day today, and I've actually really come to look forward to therapy.
I am one of three sisters myself, so I truly loved sitting
Nice.
down with Danny, Pau, and Ale and experiencing their dynamic chemistry.
It was great.
And love and respect.
That was
for
a
one
great
another.
interview.
I'm just so happy for them, and I know the warning will continue to succeed and inspire worldwide. They have the talent, the drive, the work ethic, and most importantly, each other. The sky is the limit for them. Okay, it is now time for my sound advice. New music you need to know featured on the Allison Hagendorf Show playlist. And you can find the link to that in the show notes or at AllisonHagendorf.com.
Nice.
So since we have the warning as my guests today, we have to kick off this week's sound advice with one of their biggest songs. Make sure you check out the video for this one as well and catch them on the road because you have to see them live and witness that ferocity I was talking about. Listen to Choke by The Warning. Next on my sound advice is The Dare. Harrison Patrick Smith is resurrecting that iconic New York dance punk electroclash sound. And this really warms my heart and soul so much because it takes me back to my life living in New York in the 2000s when I was going out and seeing bands like The Rapture and LCD Sound System. I could actually do an entire episode about living in New York during that time, and maybe I will. But this song also makes me think of the Beastie Boys song with the same name. Check out The Dare and the song Girls. Also on my sound advice this week is my girl, the Grammy-nominated K-Flay. She is back with her first new song of the year and her first new song since confirming.
I know this isn't really part of the I just may as well watch. They're only 2 minutes. It'll just be so unsatisfying if I don't watch the rest of this.
She has become completely hearing impaired in her right ear. K-Flay has certainly been through a lot and is stronger than ever. She's about to embark on her headlining tour across the US and Europe, and with this new killer song, which is called Raw Raw. Next up is the latest song from Des Rocks. He is the real deal, a fellow New Yorker and a true rock star who references some of the greats like Roy Orbison, Elvis, and Bruce Springsteen as influences. His new song is a larger-than-life classic rock arena experience, and with this epic video to match. Des Rocks is on tour with another favorite band of mine, Bad Flower, for the next few months. You should definitely catch both bands on the road and check out the latest from Des Rocks. It's called Never Ending Moment. Next on my sound advice is the new song from the band Mona. Nashville-based frontman Nick Brown is a true talent. This is the first single off of the new album coming this fall. And when I asked Nick about the meaning behind this song, he said, "Even if we don't like our circumstances or the things going on around us, it is our choice to live the version of the life that we want." I am so with you,
true.
Nick. Check out All I'm Seeing by Mona. That's my sound advice this week. You could find the link to that playlist in the show notes or at AllisonHagendorf.com. As always, thank you so much for being part of the Allison Hagendorf Show. New episodes drop every week, so make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. You can find the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can also watch the show on Instagram and YouTube. I would love to hear from you, so please like, comment, rate, review, whatever you're feeling, and reach out to me on socials at Allie Hagendorf. I would love to connect with you. So please let me know who I should interview next and what music I should be featuring on my sound advice. Thanks again. I'll see you next week. And remember, you're a rock star.
That was great. Wow. That was great. That was truly fantastic. I really love that. That interview was incredible. Like, the interview was really, really incredible. I really enjoyed the interviewer. She was really nice, and I just love that. Like, that was like really, really fun.
Ever since I was young,
I loved the interview. Like, the whole interview thing was awesome, and I never actually heard of this person before. And she asked some really, really great questions. I really enjoyed like just seeing all the questions and yeah, and just taking a look. It just kind of, it was just really, really nice because I felt like they just shared such a genuine connect. Like, whenever she asked a question, and I love that that Pau, Danny, and Ale didn't just try to spew out an answer. Like, if they didn't know, like, for example, when Allison asked a question, sometimes they would actually take time to think about it. Like, sometimes there are some interviews where they just kind of spew out an answer just because they know, because they have a question, so they just try to spew out an answer. But I noticed that they always took time to think about their answers, and they took that time to make sure that, you know, it was genuine and it was what they really believed. And I just love that. I love that sometimes they weren't afraid to say, "I don't know," because that's a great thing to say. You know, you should never pretend that you do know. Like, if you don't know, that's okay. You can just say you don't really know. But that was a great interview. I loved reacting to this. This was wonderful. I guess I've got to just subscribe to this channel now because that was really, really great. I enjoyed that. Like, that was genuinely very nice, and I really, really did enjoy just watching the girls and watching Allison just ask them a bunch of questions, and it was very interesting learning more and more about them. So I really did love that. That was a very fun interview, and it was really cool. Like, I I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I know this is kind of a longer video. This might be maybe my longest video ever. It just depends on how long this video turns out to be. But yeah, I was super excited to do this. I was so happy that I could just react to this, and thank you all so much. Thank you for this, man. This interview was like absolutely incredible. It was awesome. She asked some amazing questions. I loved how they talked about the prejudice that can kind of come towards or just people judging them in general just because, they're an all-female band. I love that. I loved The Warning going to a deep dive on like how they blew up, how they felt like when they blew up. That was also great. And it was just a very informative and very well done interview. So yeah, thank you all so much for this recommendation. This was a wonderful interview, wonderful recommendation. If you guys have anything else you want to see by The Warning or just any other band, or you want to see me play anything on guitar, then just let me know. Comment down below in the comments section. I really want to hear you guys. Your thoughts and your comments, because you all mean so much to me. And yeah, you guys have just supported me so much through everything, through all of this. So thank you. I really could not do this without you. Thank you all so much just for being so amazing, being here for me. Thank you for all the subscriptions, all the views, all the comments, the likes. If anything, please just comment down below to let me know how you're enjoying my content. Let me know how you feel about The Warning. Let me know how you feel about this interview. I really did love it with all my heart. It was great. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting and commenting and subscribing. And if you've made it up to this point in the video, I don't even know what you're doing if you're not subscribed, but I mean, I do content like this a lot. I'm trying to get a lot more The Warning content out. So yeah, you guys subscribe if you want to see more of that. If you're more interested in that, then I want you guys to subscribe. It would really, really help me out. It helps me to make more and more videos. Thank you all so much for the views. Thank you all so much for your comments. Thank you for your love. It really does mean the world to me. I cannot do this without you all. Having an audience to come back to on YouTube, whether it's 1, 10, 100, or 1,000 people, I don't care. I'm just happy to do this for you. I'm so happy to do this for you. Thank you all so much. It's a wonderful interview. Thank you to every single person that was involved in making this interview possible. Thank you to Allison. Thank you to The Warning, Pau, Danny, Ale. This was a wonderful experience, a great interview, and thank you all so much for watching. Again, this was great. So you all take care and stay awesome. Rock on.